causes a fight over a phone? We can all use our life experiences to show us that phones keep the secrets of infidelity. And you will hear that there was another fight even later that year, again, about a phone. I'm not justifying the assault, not by a long shot, but I'm putting it in proper context because you will see that as soon as he gets the phone, he sits down. He is visibly disgusted. He broke a vase and he threw flowers and stayed away. The video has a second part. Cassie calls security from the hotel phone. The security officer comes to the floor and I expect you will hear from him later today. Combs is sitting in the chair slumped over. He's holding his head in his hands and the security officer tells him to leave the public area of the hotel where they are making a commotion. You will see Cassie turn to Combs and gesture to her and pay attention to the words that I think you will hear her say to him, which is, get back to the room. Two parts, both of them important and both of them important to show that Combs assaulted Cassie. But you can't stop there because he is not charged with assault. Is it because of sex trafficking, as the government is going to argue to you? Or is it because of something else? I expect the evidence, even just this week, will show you that the fight was over a phone. These two stayed together 2 more years after this incident, and to understand how and to understand why is to understand how this relationship ended. You'll hear that, even into 2018, these two were fighting to stay together. But the evidence will show you that in the summer of that year of 2018, she woke up to a gossip site that showed a photo of Combs and Gina, the same woman who he had started having an affair with in 2014, or a relationship with, I should say, walking out of the Standard Hotel together. Cassie could not come back from it. She could not give him another chance, and instead, she made the choice, as she often did, when he was caught in public with Gina, to break up with him and date another man. For Cassie, she made a choice every single day for years, a choice to stay with him, a choice to fight for him. Because for 11 years, that was the better choice. That was her preferred choice. And so she made the choice to stay with him until one day she decided she was going to break up with him because that was her preferred choice. So it's important for you to remember as you evaluate the evidence, because she was not coerced to continue to engage in this sex life with Sean Combs. When she made the decision to leave, there were no repercussions, as the government hinted. She made the choice to leave. She communicated it to him, and she ran into the arms of another man, a physical trainer who Combs had hired to train her. So I will ask you, ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention to the messages, the real-time communications between these two individuals, and the messages surrounding their breakup. Does Combs release the videotapes the government was just talking about? No, he doesn't. You will hear that the government raided 2 of his homes. You've already heard that over a year ago. They seized countless electronic devices. The only freak-off videos you will see or hear about at this trial came from her devices that she kept for 5 years. So when the government talks about power and control, who had the power? Who had the control? The government did not find any freak-off videos with Cassie on those devices. And so going back during the time of Cassie and Combs' breakup, Cassie is already dating her now husband. She is with him for months as she is breaking up with Combs, all while telling Combs she still loves him. And then in November of 2018, Kim Porter tragically passes away from pneumonia. Knowing that Combs would be distraught and wanting to be there for him, she did everything she could to be there. She came to memorial service at his home. She flew to Kim's home state of Georgia to be at the funeral. Don't lose sight of the fact that amidst a breakup, all the way at the end of 2018, she flew to a funeral service to be there for him and support him and his family during this trying time of their life. And at the service at their home, Combs, to a group of loved ones, former employees, and others, and to many people on social media who were paying respects, said, and I quote, "Kim was my soulmate." In Cassie's presence for everyone to hear, he said, she was my soulmate. The end of the relationship between Cassie and Combs is important, and I want you to focus on the evidence of how and why it ended. When Combs publicly said Kim Porter was his soulmate to all the people around him who were there, for the first time maybe ever, Cassie realized all the things she would not be. I expect many witnesses at this trial to tell you she wanted to be Combs' wife. I expect she may even tell you that. That is what she spent 11 years trying to get, and in one day it became clear to Cassie she was never going to get that. And if she was never going to be Combs's wife, if she was never going to be the love of his life, then she would leave. And that is what she did on her terms, her choice, for reasons that, for her, were the right reasons. This is where bringing personal experience to this jury matters. This is something we have all been through. That one life event you can point to where you can say, that is when I knew it was over. Because that is what this was for her. Because this was a relationship, although toxic at times, like every other relationship, it was not based on coercion. It was not based on force. At a certain point, you know you're not going to get what you need from the other person, and you leave. After Kim's funeral, they never saw each other again. The very first time that this former couple will see each other after 6.5 years of a breakup is in this courtroom later today or tomorrow. We are all going to witness their closure, and that is because she moved on with her life and he moved on with his. You will see that she married the trainer. She had 2 children with him, and she's pregnant with her 3rd, and Combs also moved on with his life. As you listen to her testimony, as you read her messages closely, evaluate what Combs's intent was at the time.